What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another edition of Holy Tribe Football Podcast, part one of Rivalry Week. It's me, AY Cundy from the capital of the state, the Commonwealth, Pennsylvania. And only tonight to my west is D-Berg. What's up?
Definitely having the underwear outside the pants tonight with this two-man crew, and will be a similar two-man crew come Wednesday evening when Kent returns from. He is at a wedding in California, correct?
Yes.
Is that that was the explanation? So, yeah, it's weird. I would say, as a preview to the recap, they screwed up the blowout.
What do you mean they screwed it up?
You know what I mean by that. I know you guys. Dare I say, I would lay minus at least 250 that you guys had a sidebar chat going on as the Yellow Jackets crept their way back in, not once but twice.
No, did not.
No, right.
No communication with Can or Roth. No,
yeah, Roth was fat and sassy.
Roth was fat and sassy. Oh, Can was at the. No, he wasn't at the game. Yeah, no, Can was quiet.
Yeah.
It was just me there watching it.
Yeah, and me there watching it.
I didn't want to say anything throughout the game. Just let it play out. Actually, when I was about to say something, that's when Georgia Tech did. I thought about saying something, but then they started creeping back, and then I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna let it go.
Yeah, when they stopped them, I guess we can unartfully segue into the recap of that game. When they started, or rather, when Pitt stopped them up 35-14. At their own, it was at the Georgia Tech 38. It's like, all right, this has to be it. But no, of course not.
Narduzzi said, hold my beer.
Oh, my goodness.
At one point.
It made me, not to you guys, I did invoke the R word in another group message. That's how bad. I don't know the last time I've sent that. I might not have sent it since high school in a text message. That's how upset I was with the fake punt.
In response to the fake punt, yes. That was,
I mean, you can't. It does not get worse than that. And obviously, he's been dead and buried with me for over 3 years now, as far as having being deserving of any credit ever. And wow, was that bad? And then, of course, the execution being an F didn't help matters. But it was never going to work the way they. And of course. He said he was a dumbass and then said that we hadn't run a fake punt all year. Was trying to make a play. That was the explanation.
Then he said, put that one on Coach Narduzzi. Thank you.
Yep. We didn't know. Coach. Golly.
Game was awesome, though. Pitch of a huge lead early.
Yeah.
What stood out the most to me that game was we know they're good. We mentioned how good they are, but your linebackers just flying around.
Yeah, they definitely got playmakers. That's what I said. Like it's choppy because in other areas they're maybe even below average. I would say with the injuries on the offensive line at this point in the season, they're, dare I say, like a below average offensive line. That's not to take away anything from the stops that it's the caveat, rather, the stops that Georgia Tech made in the middle part of the game, and then also the way that Notre Dame had their way with them. So maybe just average. I'll be fair. I'll give them an average grade. But it was it was just indicative of their entire season so far outside of the Notre Dame game. You know, big lead early. You basically called it. I mean, you didn't foresee a 28-0 lead.
No, but
you did say a double-digit lead and then hang on. That's kind of what happened in a roundabout way.
I did foresee a nice start, a front-running position, but it did get a little weird. In that pick six, was it Lovelace?
Yes.
That was nice.
Yeah.
Turner always looks so good to me.
And I'll tell you what, there's some folks, I'll call him out, see if he gets caught up multiple times in one of these two episodes. But the Mad Dog was clamoring for a full-time replacement of Desmond Reed. I said, let's not get crazy here. But he definitely had his fair share of explosive plays, probably like 4 or 5 at least, obviously punctuated by the last touchdown run, which I said I guess I was technically wrong, but I was sitting there watching with the holy wife, Sarah, one of the holy wives, Sarah, rather. And I said, watch, they're going to go right down the field. After Tech had made it 35-28, they're going to go right down the field now and score, which they did score, but it was another explosive play, which seems to be their MO right now. And that's fine by me, given how things felt. And certainly you go all the way back to the beginning of the season. It's like, all right, yeah, they've got these playmakers, but what do you make of starting 7-0 and then finishing 0-6? It's just, so to be now in a position 8-3, where even if they lose to Miami, it's pretty good season relative to the expectations, which I know Ken loves to point out. It's just one of those. You would take this scenario at the beginning of the season, but for what I've been harping on the last couple of weeks, which is to say, now we're in a scenario. There's it's not favored, as Pitt is a 7-point underdog now, but it's, even with Pitt being the underdog and as big of favorites as Virginia and SMU are, is it over 50%? I guess technically not, because Pitt's an underdog, but 35-40% probability that there's 3 one-loss teams tied and no head-to-head matchups. Thank you yet again, realignment. For no reason. No good reason.
No.
So.
It's incredible.
Yeah. It's probably the last time I'll say that this season, because I'll be so defeated if Pitt wins, SMU wins, and Virginia wins. By the time we do the playoff reaction and do our playoff picks, that I won't have much left in the tank. That will all be, the remains will be exerted during SMU's 24-point victory over Cal.
We will get to those games. Actually, we're not picking the SMU game for some reason. We could throw a huge.
It is it is what, a 2-touchdown spread?
Yeah, we'll have to make note of it.
They're not losing that. It is all going to come down to, obviously, Pitt playing Miami as a touchdown underdog, as mentioned, and then it's going to be Jimmy, future team of Jimmy, or bust. I felt that for the last 2 weeks or so.
We'll see. It's only Monday. We'll see come Saturday.
Yeah.
We'll get to that the Pitt Miami game shortly. As we're not going to do a full recap here, because I'm sure Kent was out and about, so I'm not sure what he watched, but he can touch.
Yeah, he's usually the flag bearer for the recap. But
I'm just going to speed through last week. And we got Calandria put it to Hawaii, SMU put it to Louisville, Miller Moss didn't play, and that.
Oh yeah, shout out to Brom for that skeleton crew he trotted out there. It was just, I think the intro of that game was just like 7 Louisville players saying not available today or not playing today, and just, if there was a nail that needed to go in the coffin of Jeff Brom and me not liking him, it was that hapless effort.
So, also rather hapless was Missouri. They just got to the red zone and missed a field goal, kicked 2 field goals. Like Oklahoma, I'll give credit here because I heard a Klatt comment said Oklahoma's just like a little better Iowa. Like they really are.
Yeah, it's not a bad comp, not a bad shout.
Like Missouri just couldn't get anything going, and Oklahoma couldn't pull away. That was gross. Northwestern Minnesota, yeah, same team.
I'm still mad that you made us pick that game.
I did have the Oregon game on the pad. Like special teams for USC, it was just the punt return, the kick out of bounds, the missed kick, just blown coverages on special teams did them in. Quinn Ramsey not playing, they just fell apart. Oregon looks good, but we'll see how they do this week. Florida didn't show up. I'm glad. Oh, we still have to pick one more Florida game this week. That's not fun. Roth, Fat, and Sassy. Cal, Stanford. I will circle back to that in the Notre Dame preview because I just watched those extended highlights tonight.
They have life.
And BYU, Cincinnati. I didn't see much of that game, but
I mentioned about Kalani really cranking up the voodoo with 3 missed field goals, I believe. Unforced fumble inside their own 20. It's just, it's amazing. That guy. It makes me dislike them almost as much as I disliked that Zach Wilson team back in 2020. I dislike them more because they were the epitome of a flat track bully. They were just blowing out like Western Kentucky and Navy and all these. I'm like, this team's not good. And then one of my best calls, maybe in the history of the podcast, was picking Postal to beat them outright. But yeah, they are. I don't see how that. It seems to be an impending rematch in the Big 12 championship goes any differently. They're like physical and tough, but they have to play teams that are pusses.
Yeah, it's good.
Turns out a lot of their opponents have it.
Could be another tough one for them. We'll see if BYU gets by UCF to set up that rematch.
That's true. Yeah.
We touched on the Georgia Tech Pitt game. Penn State, Nebraska. I didn't watch any of it.
Saw the score. That was about it.
Yeah, good for State. So Allen ran all over him. Singleton 2 touchdowns. Sounds like Alker had fun. So good day for all.
Terry Smith with the
support.
The groundswell of support for Terry Smith. We'll see if they end up going that direction. I have my doubts.
You and I hit our locks, Vols. That was very easy. Vatek got Miami by the hook. Miami throwing that touchdown pass on 4th and 2. Respect, I guess.
Oh yeah.
I'll do it. And came back Burt. Wisconsin. On Wisconsin. The recap of this Notre Dame Syracuse game is going to be. It could be much longer than the preview was because that was just incredibly short. I'll have to check the tape, but I'm pretty sure I said the Syracuse team is bad, really bad. They were really bad.
I mean, when you were down. They were down. Were they down 21 or 14 without touching Notre Dame's offense?
21-0 without CJ Carr taking a snap.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like it. A lot of the people online and Notre Dame people, no one's ever seen anything like this ever.
No.
It's just, if you look at like some of the numbers here, like the time possession was like 3-1. Total plays was like 81 to 30 something.
Yeah.
Carr had 45 pass yards. The team at 67. They averaged 16 yards a carry as a team. It was just incredible.
I love the Notre Dame fans up on Mount Pius comparing the handshake between Fran Brown after that just abysmal effort, and then the Pat Narduzzi handshake that we talked about briefly, which I hadn't even seen until I saw that side by side. Clearly respect there for Fran Brown.
Yeah, I genuinely felt bad for Syracuse. They did score with 7 seconds left. So good for them.
Yeah,
it was just, you don't take anything with that. It was just, you caught lightning in a bottle and just completely just demoralized them. So we'll see. The biggest news, though, was Kingston Viliamu-Asa, probably the second best defender, torn ACL. He's done for the year. So not great, but if there was a position the Notre Dame defense could take a blow to, I think it would be linebacker. But he's the best linebacker, so we'll see if the rest of the group can shoulder his burden. Just very good game, very good effort, but yeah, not much to take from that besides Syracuse is bad. And I looked into the Syracuse BC game this week to try and take a side on that. And I'm just not even going to touch it. And someone on the Notre Dame boards, I heard this on the podcast, said in regards to Stanford, is Stanford more like Purdue orange in regards to Syracuse, or Purdue red in regards to BC? It's like, now that I look at it that way, it's like you got 4 Purdues in the last this season. That's not good. Some of these teams. But the BC, credit to them. They clunked it up for Notre Dame, but Syracuse caught the wrath. Just Carney and Flaherty just spelling every other series. Ugh, Poor guys. Enough of that game. I don't think we'll ever see anything like that again. It was funny, though.
Yeah.
But I apologize to Syracuse. All right. Nice, crisp 15 minutes in. Probably 15 to go, as I will reveal my picks for these games. Feast week. Even Can's on the only one on CBB. We are not.
Right.
So this is an ode to Kent and his travels. It is Thanksgiving week. Another reason why we're doing this on Monday and not just wait until Thursday. All right. Let's speed through these. Egg Bowl, Friday, noon. A nooner in the Egg Bowl. Doesn't feel right, but definitely sets the table for a good Friday. Ole Miss, Mississippi State. Klanga catching 6.5. So I think I'm just going to set the standard here with this game. Something's going to happen this weekend, right? It is rivalry week.
Yeah.
Look at all these games that are a touchdown, right on a touchdown. You got the Egg Bowl. You got Oregon, Washington. You have Alabama, Auburn, Miami, Pitt. Even Oklahoma, 10.5. Like, something's going to happen this week. Someone's going to catch a stray somewhere or two. So, and I don't know where it's going to come from. So I'm probably just going to have taken the points in a lot of these matchups. I'm taking Mississippi State here, plus 6.5. I don't feel good about it, but Ole Miss, the lane stuff, maybe it's going to catch up eventually. Schedule hasn't been hard. I noted that in the preseason. That's the only reason I had in my playoff, because they weren't going to play anyone. Although if I look back in the archives, I did pick them to win this game. I think I did it twice and had them losing the first time. Anyways, Mississippi State stays within 6.5. And could be our first shot at weirdness. Utah, Kansas. Did not mention the Utah K-State game last week. Cam's Cats. Holy smokes. How did they pull that out? They had the double comeback. They were getting blown out, came back, blown out again, and actually came back. Brutal. What do they have left? I don't know. But I'll take 12.5 with Kansas and Jaylon Daniels. I put this next game on because this is Black Friday to me. It's gross, but it's, as SVP and Stanford Steve affectionately call it, corn and crops. Don't know which one is which, and it doesn't matter because this is corn versus crops. Iowa, Nebraska. I will forever think of Jeff Sims in this game.
Yes.
And he's still playing. Remarkable.
Thought it was his year.
So by default, I'm always going to take the points in corn versus crops. So right here I have Nebraska getting off the mat. Oh, Matt Rule doesn't win ranked games or close games, so I'll probably lose by 7. I'll take Nebraska in the 6.5 because I was not running away from really anybody. Georgia Tech game in the Mercedes-Benz Dome. Why Georgia Tech took it off campus? I know why. They got a nice payday for it. Probably regret that. Although I guess their at-large bid is shot now.
Yeah. I said it would be interesting. That was my last note to Brendan, who we did not have on, and I felt like, given the circumstances, it would not have been polite to have him on this week. But it was, how would Georgia Tech have handled that game since they had been clinched? They would have clinched an ACC title berth. How would they have handled the Georgia game? Because you figure if you end your season with a win over Georgia at 11-1, you're probably in the same spot that SMU was in last year. As much as people would stomp and cry over that, even if they lost by whatever.
That would have been fascinating.
Yeah, we would not get the resolution, at least on the first leg of that. Maybe they'll get off the mat here. They
don't have like what Georgia Tech right now is playing for this game, I guess, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Georgia with some bigger fish to fry on the line.
Yeah. And they good. Sorry.
I'm taking Ramblin to cover here. That last year's game was incredible.
Yep.
I don't know what they have left or how they are mentally, but even watching them, like you mentioned, choppy with Pitt. Like Georgia Tech just seems they're like epitome of choppy. I feel like.
Yeah. And that was the one thing I meant to point out during the recap. I don't know how closely you were listening to it. And I actually took to Twitter for the first time since June of this year. Dave Pasch, I think he had the Jackets in some sort of wager because he was getting mad at them when they were down, was it 21 maybe? I can't remember if it was still 35-14 for how slow they were going. And I'm thinking in my head, if I had that team as well, I'd be bitching about the exact same thing. Like, they're not moving fast enough.
You mentioned that. I do remember now once. I didn't catch on at the time, though. It didn't register with me, but.
And I get it was a bigger moment for them having a night game and a chance to clinch the ACC. It was a bigger moment for them without a doubt than Pitt. But I'm wondering if this guy, if he had a few shekels on the old Yellow Jackets there. But he didn't respond to me yet, so stay tuned for Wednesday.
Well, come back for Wednesday for that.
Yep.
A&M, Texas. This has nothing to do with last week's results, but I am taking Texas. I would have taken Texas a month ago. I probably would have taken them 6 months ago. Well, I definitely would have 6 months ago, but I think I said it a month ago too. A&M does not feel like an undefeated team to me. Again, it's not sour grapes. It's just like look at the schedule in the SEC. They've played the bottom half of it. This is not a 12-0 team. Texas, the slimmest of hopes for a playoff shot, but I think they get this done here. The border war, I believe, Arizona State. Fort catching 1.5, Noah Levitt, Jeff Sims, Fafita, and Arizona are playing great. Jeez. We're going dog again. Arizona State. This offense with Sims, now that they aren't playing
against the angle.
Yeah, I guess it could be. Oh, no, they're Forks getting 1.5, yeah. Oh, no, they were ranked, yeah.
Forks 25, yeah.
I would think they're still ranked. Yeah, they have an outside shot here. Arizona, I think they've had a good year. I just don't think they're quite this good. And yeah, once they got Jeff Sims out of that monsoon in the cold of Utah, they unlocked him a little bit, and he's been nice. Ohio State, Michigan. Michigan catching 9.5. I mean, 1-4 straight. I don't care. Ohio State. I know Tate and Jeremiah Smith are dinged up, but this Ohio State defense is just too good. You can say they haven't really played a ton. Look, they're just like boa constricting everybody, and the run game's come along well enough. I just think it's not gonna be pretty. It'll be a rock fight. But you tell me Ohio State can't win this game 23-10. Like, what are we doing here? Michigan's not going to run the ball down Ohio State's throat. I mean, I'm sure we can cut the tape from the last 4 years of this, but 2 years ago, they were a proper team. Last year was just disgusting, and it got done. No, I'm not seeing it this year. Ohio State covers. Oregon, Washington, Lanning going to his little house of horrors there, UW.
That's right.
Off the big win. I'm leaning to on the field here with Washington.
Fish. We did kind of gloss over. What would it take for Georgia to get to the title game? Is it already locked up? I guess if Bama loses to Auburn, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which let me just save it for the Iron Bowl. Sorry, jump the gun here.
I'm going to Washington here to cover, possibly on the field. We'll flip a coin on that. Look, I said at the top there's going to be some carnage this week. I don't know where it's coming from, so I'm just going to, if I fire enough bullets, I'll get 40% of them right. 33%, I don't know. I'll say the points, though. Oregon off a big win last week. Washington looked impressive not coming to the Eastern time zone, so they'll be at home. And Coleman, Williams, Boston. See, Oregon's receivers are dinged up. Yeah, sure. At least make it weird. LSU, Oklahoma. It's gross laying 10.5 with Oklahoma.
I can't believe this one found its way onto the slate, if I'm being honest.
Because it could be another landmine. Look, is LSU going to score? I don't know.
They scored 13 against Western Kentucky last week.
Yeah.
And had Brian Kelly's son humiliate the family.
That was one of the grossest things I've seen this year.
I
was reminded of that earlier today when I saw it pop up, and I cannot believe Can did not send that at all this weekend.
Yeah, he slipped through the cracks. We'll see if he brings it up.
Because that's got to be one of his favorite clips. I know this is just so gross after all I just said, but LSU plus 10.5.
Okay.
Vanderbilt, Tennessee. We're going Rocky Top. This is kind of just us being sick. How do I say this properly? I think I'm just over Pavia and all that surrounds him.
His mom was
mainly that, yeah.
Was sharing some revealing garb over the weekend.
Yeah. Look, I think Vandy, as impressive as they were last week, and much I like Clark Lee, I think Tennessee gets them here. Close, but Tennessee gets them. Another thing I always mention, one of my favorite rivalry games to watch is Florida State. Talk about gross.
Test of will here.
We're going to finish out the season picking Florida one last time, just to stay consistent. We got a rematch here. Chainsaw versus the Cougs. Highlighted this at the beginning of the year and the games of the year. We wanted to see the old twin bill. We got it. The return trip. Washington State played good last week against JMU. JMU did out-yard them and outplayed them, but they hung around. I can't get – Oregon State lost to Sam Houston and then what, Tulsa?
Yeah.
I'm going to lay this big number. The Cougs, they're gross too, don't get me wrong, but
yeah,
at least they haven't given up completely.
We'll see this in basketball from time to time, right? Where a team upsets the other team. Obviously, there's home and homes all the time in college basketball. So it's like, oh, yeah, well, even though Oregon State won the first game, now they're getting 13.5 points. Oh, it goes back to my 23-year-old brain of, oh, they got to take the points there. No, you most certainly do not. Yeah.
No, I think
I will spoil my one pick. Is if people haven't figured out, I am not picking games tonight. So that I will be on Wazoo for that game. Put it in.
I think they paced them. Virginia Tech in the Commonwealth Cup. We're a big fan of the Commonwealth around here. 10.5. I backed him last week, and I've been anti-Virginia all year, so stay consistent again. The Hokies. I'm not ruling out on the field either.
Yeah,
I know we need that. I know we might need that come 3:30 Saturday.
That's what I'm wondering. What does Miami need too? You've been the expert on all things tiebreakers. I don't know what Miami needs at the moment. Obviously, they need to beat Pitt, but do they just need one of those two teams to lose? Because they lost to SMU, so it can't just be SMU, right?
Right.
So I would think they might need this. They might need the Hokies in this one as well. But they may be thinking if they lay it on Pitt, is Pitt back in the top 25?
They probably will be.
Or yeah, for the whatever coaches
in the AP.
Yeah. Now they're not. But I wonder if they'll be back 26? In there. Let's see if they're split. Okay, they're 24. Yeah, it says 24.
Yep.
Yeah. So if they beat Pitt by 2, 3, 4 scores, if not more, and then you got an Ole Miss goes down or something to that effect, right? That may be all they need. I don't know. We've had differing opinions. I don't think anybody thinks that despite the head-to-head result, which I'm usually the king of, believing in the head within the same season, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But even that seems so far. I'm more subscribing to the you're only as good as your worst loss, which ironically for Notre Dame would be Miami, but Miami's both Louisville and SMU worst losses.
Yeah, it is. I'm sure it was this toxic last year with Bama involved with the SMU argument, but now like being in the middle of it,
Boomer put that to bed though.
dude, it's freaking rough.
Yeah.
Just everywhere you look, like even like the Notre Dame airwaves when they talk about CFP ranking and playoffs and stuff, I just fast forward through it. I know what's going on. I don't need to listen to people's opinions, especially the biased ones of Notre Dame people. But and I think I said this before, doing a lot of repeating, but I'm so sick of these Notre Dame insiders constantly referring to, oh, we'll have Billy Strauss back for the playoff. They've been saying this for like 4 weeks. Just like it's a foregone thing. Well, he's back to the playoff. Oh, we'll see where they get in the playoff.
Hey, you've earned that though, being the national runners-up twice and making it.
Yeah. No, because this is a new team, and this is a new season, but a new scenario. Like, I get what they're saying, but like once, like I'm just like, God, like, this is not set in stone by any means.
Yeah. Yeah, it's. I was going to compare it to like the Penguins fans, how they are in hockey, or but it is the same core of players, which defeats what you're saying. It's a completely new team from obviously 5-6 years ago, whenever that was. So I get that, but I get also why fan bases behave that way, which is why it was hilarious when Penn State fans were bypassing a playoff game. Did bypass a playoff game against Boise.
It's true.
Which did pay off.
But
because it's just they had never done that in my lifetime, at least.
It's not. We will round it out with the Iron Bowl. Auburn catching 6.5.
Can we set the table here? What is this? Obviously, Georgia needs them to win, but if A&M loses, does Georgia get in? I would assume not, because I feel like those conference championship odds are not indicative. Does it just become a head-to-head round robin, and then Bama would get in, being 1-0 against Georgia, A&M 0-0 against both teams, and then does it just go by losing percentage or best winning percentages head-to-head?
I don't know. So if A&M and Bama both win, they're in.
Yeah.
Georgia
that makes sense.
Yep. Georgia needs. Okay, so Georgia's simple. A&M or Bama to lose.
Oh, really? So they would get over A&M?
Yeah.
Okay. That's weird because their conference.
They have it based on record against common opponents.
Okay. See, now, here we go. SEC conference. I swear this was different even last week. SEC conference championship game winner, A&M plus 170, Georgia plus 185. That was at least 4-1 a week ago, maybe certainly 2 weeks ago. And I don't know who A&M played. They played like Scar, right? So people clearly had not had the tiebreakers worked out. But
Ole Miss needs a win, a Texas win, and an Auburn win.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Oh, so Georgia.
Then they would rematch Georgia, right? In that case, I would imagine.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah. I wonder if they want that. What do you think?
If who wants it?
Georgia. Or would they be content with like a 4 or 5 seed as long as they take care of business?
I think Kirby would be content with it.
Yeah.
He wouldn't say it, but if he gave him truth serum, I think he would be.
Yeah.
This is the one I feel worst about, but Give me Auburn. One last ride with the Tigers. Just a glutton for punishment with these guys. I don't know who's going to be a quarterback. Is it going to be Deuce Knight?
That's an interesting number. I thought I saw 3.5 the other day.
It was just 5.5 this morning. So Bama's taking some money for sure.
Yeah.
Of course, all these are 6.5. I can't get like a 7 or 7.5. I know Cam will probably complain on the lines. Oh, it's 7 here.
He'll be like, I got Bama minus 4.5. I'm picking it that.
So, yeah,
in the spirit of giving, I would give that to him. I would let him pick it at 4.5.
On to the Holy Tri games. I'll start with Penn State Rutgers first. That's going to be State. Notre Dame, Stanford. Look, I just went back and watched Cal Stanford. Stanford's better than Syracuse. Okay, it doesn't not mean meant to be a diss, but to Stanford, but they're better than Syracuse. Was it Elijah Brown? I think they're quarterback now. Michael Ford running back. They're playing hard for Frank Reich. Coming off a big win over Cal. Yes, they had 2 fumble sixes. They had another fumble that set up a 20-yard drive. It kind of got handed to him for sure. So the 31-10, they missed 2 field goals. They did. It was probably like a 27-10 game, 24-10. Anyway, whatever. They're better than Cal. It's still 32.5. It's crazy. And Notre Dame has been pulverizing teams. They've been pulverizing Stanford the last 3 trips out there. I don't think Conrad Ucrapina is going to be the honorary captain.
That's my hope.
It is Andrew Luck bobblehead night. I wonder how much they ordered. Well, not Andrew Luck. I'm sorry. Colonel Luck.
Of course, yeah. Of course.
I'm not sure how many they ordered, but how many do you think they're going to really give away? I don't know.
78.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure how many people are going to be there. Notre Dame, everything's going to be laid out in front of them by the time this game kicks off. Not that they'll probably have to wait another week. They could know their fate if one of these, potential challengers falls, and it could be like a true win you're in scenario. We'll see, because it is a 10:30 kick. But regardless, 32.5 is a lot. Could Notre Dame put it on them? Absolutely. It might feed Love a little extra now that these Heisman odds have shrunk.
That's true. Yeah, let's see.
It's down to like 4-ish to 1.
Wow. Blackledge saw it coming.
So
said it was his Heisman moment against Navy.
Yeah. I've been consistent all pod, so let's just keep it.
I would vote for him over Ask Dozer, excuse me.
I mean, I would too, but I'm just tired of quarterbacks winning. I wanted Genty last year, but obviously Love doesn't have the numbers of Genty, but he also has like 120 less carries. I'm taking the tree, 41-10 Notre Dame. This defense, I think I'm kind of bought in. I know the schedule hasn't been murderer's row since Purdue, but look, they're getting so much pressure. It's a complete about face from the first 2 weeks of the year. And I don't see why that stops here. I'll go 41-10. Tree keeps with the number. And the main event of Saturday is obviously Miami Pitt. I didn't need anything else, but I just checked one last thing. The high in Pittsburgh on Saturday is 36 degrees.
Hell yeah.
Like, what are we doing here? Pitt on the field, and I feel great about it.
Yeah.
I feel really good about it. The only thing that I don't love, there's 2 things, is how barnstorming Pitt was last week, but they've been barnstorming this back half of the year, aside from the game they took off.
The entire year. Literally everybody but Notre Dame, double-digit leads.
That's true, yeah. It's true, yeah. The Louisville and West Virginia games were a long time ago. Since then, yeah, they didn't play a lot of competition in the middle of the schedule there, but still, you can play not great teams and not look good. Pitt's just been rolling people.
That's what, like, I had to fend off. I would say I still fall along the lines of realist. Some would call me pessimist, but it's like somebody texted me on Saturday. I'm not going to dox him. Different person than Mad Dog. He's like, I can't believe they might sneak their way into the ACC. I'm like, sneak in? What are you talking about? I said, they have one loss. If they beat Miami, which is they're going to need to do to get into it and then get some help. I said, they've killed everybody, or at least been killing everybody on their schedule except for Notre Dame. That's the thing. It just drives me nuts, all the pomp and circumstance around the Notre Dame game, as if it really mattered that much. Or was a reflection on the rest of their schedule or the ACC as a whole. I mean, it's just not, other than Miami beating Notre Dame week 1, it's like, what do you have to write home about to say they're like some imposter? It's like, no, they've played and smoked or been smoking everybody. So, and we talked about that Stanford game, how they didn't cover our number of 15.5. They could have won by 50 in that game.
The Stanford game, that probably should have been worse than Notre Dame Syracuse.
I don't know. That one was pretty tough to top, but yeah, point taken. So yeah, I don't it's just a credit to the players. I hope somebody gets on the mic and goes, we're a player-led team like Kenny did in 2021. It's like out now, I don't know if it was out now, but certainly for me, subliminally messaging that like, we got this. That idiot that's spouting off in the press conferences, pay no attention to him. Let him do his thing. But yeah, we'll see. It's I like that they got cattle prodded. That's all I'll give away. I like that they got cattle prodded against Georgia Tech a couple of times because, as I mentioned, even if they had beaten ahead of the Notre Dame game, I mentioned this. If they had beaten them, this program just has no track record of, stacking together. So that was I'm not saying, it was a good result that they got smacked the way they did against Notre Dame, or that they nearly gave away a 28-0 lead against Georgia Tech. But, it was playmaking. That's the thing. Even then, it's like, oh, yeah, they gave it. I was like, yeah, but then they made the play. Like, they pressured Haynes King and forced that pick six. It wasn't like he just, the guy fell down or something like that, that you can see in these games, like I was mentioning about with Kalani. It's like they have playmakers that just looks choppy because in other areas they're not as strong as some people are. And by some people, I mean like almost the entire top 20. They're able to sneak their way into that top 25, top 20 because of the playmakers they have, not because they're a well-balanced, solid team.
So, yeah, no, this isn't me just flying the Pitt flag. I think the D line's going to get after Beck. They're going to shut the run game. Pitt's good at run D. Miami can't run the ball. Right. Force Beck Beck throws quick, but force him into some throws. The linebackers are going to be flying around, sitting on routes.
Yep.
And then on our side of the ball, yeah, sure, you got 2 good D ends from Miami, but Heinzel, if he can just play smart, he's going to make one boneheaded play.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, he threw a couple in the direction.
You got Kenny and Poppy out there, and Turner. If Reed's back, like they're good. Pitt. There's a clear path here for Pitt, and
this is one of the better. Say, take this from whatever you will, or however you will. This is one of the better of like the top line talented teams that they've had that I can remember in pretty much my entire life. It's the problem is the other areas. That's why, I mentioned about the D line. That's didn't really hurt them that much against Notre Dame, I suppose. I mean, it wasn't good, but it wasn't like, oh my gosh, Notre Dame just lined the ball up and throttling them 7 yards downfield every carry. Neither did Georgia Tech. It was a lot of when they were having success, it was a lot of Haynes King playmaking still, and a couple nice catches by their tight ends and wide receivers. But yeah, it's just the nature of the beast, though. I mean, you're not going to be able to polish it off without a strong recruiting base or strong recruiting classes or some NIL money. Neither of which Pitt has. So just kind of the fact of the matter, that's their way of doing it. Or if you just have the quarterback going bonkers, which I still, I know he made some nice plays. I'm still not walking off that. It's not really that big of a difference between Heinzel and Holstein. which I know people would probably egg me over, but you see what you see watching the game. So
Yeah,
would make for an interesting Saturday night if they could get it done on the field against the Canes. But either way, solid, and then keep what you can together. And they'll find these guys. They've always done it. And it's not just that's the one. I think the few. I wouldn't even call it few. The group out there that is that are comprised of Pat Narduzzi apologists are pointing to that. Like, well, look at these guys. I even saw some Michigan. I randomly ran into some Michigan State posters talking about, well, Narduzzi, look what he's done to Pitt. They have no expectations, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, but they've also, with Paul Chryst, they've had good players. With Wannstedt, obviously, was their best talent group for 3-4 seasons in my lifetime. And then Willett found players. So it's just not that's his key attribute. That and his whatever the fuck he says pregame. Like, no, they've found their way into these players my entire life. So not buying that rationale. So we'll see. Michigan State, he's yours if you want him. And I'm not saying it'll be better, but what Pitt needs to do is just keep trying and trying again until they get to have like a Sonny Dykes situation. I know we were talking about him last week, potentially not lasting for long, but that's what you need. You need somebody like that. And we do not have that currently.
Well, I like him on Saturday.
All right.
All right. Time for my lock.
Yes.
I've been just to pound it home. I've been consistent. I've been consistent with all my things this year or this week. I'll wait till the final lock of the regular season to turn my back. Hurts to do, but this team scored 17 points the last 3 weeks. Like, I follow this team still. They're not good. And they're catching 7.5, and I'm going to take the other side and lay 7.5 with the Rainbow Warriors or our Wyoming Cowboys.
Did you see they lost on Josh Allen retirement day?
Oh, yeah, it was brutal.
I was cracking up. It's, what was it, 13-7 Nevada. And then the bottom line, it said, Josh Allen's jersey retired.
Look, this line
What
stinks.
has happened? We came so far from the 2-win first year under Craig Bowl to here we are now.
This line is so gross. It should be – I feel like it should be higher, which means I'm walking into it, but I really don't think I am. I think I just sniffed this one out.
No, I think you're on the right. So yeah, you would think people, why 7-4?
I know Hawaii and the mainland hasn't been great down the stretch here, but they're back on the island. Yeah, 10 points last week at UNLV. Let's not forget what they did to San Diego State the game before that. So yeah, Hawaii minus 7.5 is my lock of the week, and that's it for Feast Week, Rivalry Week, Part 1.
All right.
Thank you for that.